Welcome to another episode of the Lions Den and Boar podcast. Tonight, actually, we're going to be honoring our veterans. I've been doing this on another podcast that I'm on. The podcast is called The Jets Afterburners. What inspired me to honor our veterans was a very dear friend to me that I grew up with. We played high school football together. We shared so many stories. And our trajectory was always the same. We were always kind-hearted. We were always putting others first. We held a lot of deep secrets that not a lot of people knew. But unfortunately, he had a lot of dark secrets. My good friend, he decided to go to the military. Let me tell you, this gentleman was beyond the smartest person I have ever met in my life. He would read a book and recite word for word. Mathematician, just brilliant. But he decided, you know what? And he got a full-blown scholarship, very smart, to top university. He was going to be a lawyer. That's how brilliant he was. And he decided to go to the military. You know, he was in war with Afghanistan, a lot of things going on. You know, we would always keep in touch. He moved to Colorado, so it was a little bit of a distance, but you know, we would always call. We would always just make sure that everybody's good. Unfortunately, 3 years ago, the darkness of his past he could never get over, and he has survived by his wife. And you know, when I got the call that he passed away, that he took his life, I couldn't believe it. It's one of those things where you can't wrap your mind around this. You start thinking really deep. What could I have done differently? And you start going to your mental Rolodex of life experiences, and you're like, how did I not see these signs in the past? What were there conversations that kind of alluded to this kind of action? Not really. You know, that's why mental health awareness is so important. That's why it's important to keep the ones that you love so close to you, even if you don't see eye to eye with them. Always check up on them, see how they're doing. I see a lot of issues going on with the generations that we see today. The younger folks, they can't handle adversity that great either. Is it because things are easier, instantaneous, and when there's a little bit of pushback, they don't know how to handle it? Well, instead of saying, you know, this generation is doomed, next generation, oof, every generation has their own obstacles to go through, and it's up to us old timers to adapt. We have to adapt. We have to evolve with the times. And we also have to bestow our knowledge and our experiences on the young generation and our family and our friends. It is very therapeutic to have a good bond and a good circle of friends all around us. It's important to speak to one another, our hearts, and to have friends that continue to hold us accountable, not just yes people. And I get it. Some people like to be loners, and I was like that until I realized that's not a smart thing to do. It's not good to be always alone, because there's going to be a point of your life where you're not going to be able to do it on your own. Age creeps up on you. Mental stuff happens. Just even having a podcast and talking to people, that is therapeutic to me. There's a lot of voids in this life that when you have a good crew around you, they fill those voids. And you talk about things. Even if you don't see eye to eye, there's always that part where you merge certain thoughts and you extrapolate the good, and you try to make sense of things that you didn't understand the other party. Look, I was this close joining the military with my good friend. Very close. I had an injury. I also had a lot of people on my side tell me, hey, look, I don't think this is best for you. Maybe there's other options. And I waited, and I didn't go. But let me tell you, the people that are in there, they're so courageous. What they do to go above and beyond the normal civilian, there's no description. As I said before, this is our third year honoring our veterans, hearing their stories and what they went through. And then after a period of time to come back and segue into a civilian life, that's one of the toughest things that you could ever do. Just place yourself in that position. Every moment that you're living when you're stationed, getting ready for war, you don't know if today's going to be your last day. And you have to defend yourself, just like you have to defend the land. I think a lot of people forget about that. They think it's so easy, and they take for granted this amazing land that we have here of the United States of America. Every morning I wake up and I thank God, number one. I thank God that my father, who was born in Italy, said, there's something better for me and for my future family. This ain't it, staying right here in Italy, right after World War II. And it wasn't easy to come here. From Italy, he had to go to Argentina. For Argentina, in order to get all the paperwork right for the United States, it took years. It took a good 10 years. He did things the right way. He came here first. All the paperwork, everything being vetted, not coming here illegally. Yeah, I said it. Sorry. It's important. And then bringing my family, and then having me here. My dad knew what it was to put your family in a great position, because he knew if you go into a land that prospers because of God first, and knowing that you have the best military willing to always put their lives at risk to protect this, what we have here in the US is something special. Don't take that for granted, ever. Do you understand that? Thank God before a meal. Thank God that you live in such a blessed land. The challenges of this life is already heavy to begin with. But if we're not there for each other, we're not there for our fellow soldiers when they come back home, we have to showcase our appreciation to them. And that's important. If you see a veteran, go up to them, walk up to them, and tell them, it doesn't take too long, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for everything that you've done. Our first responders, same thing. Whenever I see a police officer at a 7-Eleven, whatever the case is, I got this. What do you got? Coffee, a sandwich, I got it. My way of appreciation. We have really taken things to the point where it is what it is. It is what it is. No, it's not like that. Life is more than that. It's respecting the ones that are protecting you, not biting the hand that feeds you. People rather criticize first responders and our veterans and our soldiers instead of helping them. That drives me crazy when I hear all of these gruesome, nasty adjectives that they use towards our soldiers. But we have a voice too. And I know I use it. I don't hold back. There are certain things that I will say that will rub people the wrong way, but it's because I love justice. I love righteousness. I love putting God first, even though I know I fail a bunch of times. But knowing that you did right, that you stood up and you defend what's most important, and knowing that the ones that are fighting overseas, and even the United States Coast Guard that are here, they're doing the same and protecting. I truly believe a fight against mental health definitely starts with nutrition as well. I realized that this carnivore way of eating has made me more primal, more ready to protect my family in ways that I never even thought. I've developed a sixth sense. And I know that I have to eat this way in order to get to that standard of what veterans go through. I could only imagine. They have seventh, eighth senses. I could never even compare. Veterans, if you're watching this show, you will always hold a special place in my heart. I respect you. I honor you. And thank you for protecting this land. God bless.